Hi, class. Miss Morelock would like to do something a little different with you. I'd like to read you a story. I miss reading stories to you guys and hearing your stories, telling me every day. So the book that I have is Badger's Fancy Meal. Badger's Fancy Meal. I'm going to read it, and as I read it, I'll show the page after I've read it, just like we do in school, so you can see the pictures, and we'll talk a little bit about the book too. So let's see what Badger's Fancy Meal is. What would you say would be your fancy meal? What would you like to have to eat today? Pizza does sound good, and spaghetti. That does sound good. Mashed potatoes. That does sound good. A hamburger? Sure. I wish we could go sit down and have a hamburger somewhere, don't you? Well, let's see what Badger's fancy meal is. Badger's den was full of food, but he wasn't happy. Apples, worms, and roots. Same old, he sighed. I wish I could have a fancy meal for a change. Does it sound like he's complaining? He's not happy with what he has. So let's see what he decides to do about it. So Badger crawled out of his den and eagerly set to find his fancy meal. Where would his den be? Look at the picture. You're right, it's in the ground. You could have a parent Google and you could see a real badger and probably see what his den looks like inside the ground. Soon Badger spotted a mole walking by. He thought, how about a mole taco with hot spicy salsa? Now that's what I call a fancy meal. Ooh. You see the mole in the taco? He jumped for the mole, but it was too slippery. It slipped and slid right out of Badger's hands. Then it scampered away as fast as it could. That was close. He found a perfect place to hide. Now, when I show you the picture, I want you to look where he found to hide. Where did he find to hide? Whose den? He's hiding in Badger's den. Badger was disappointed, but not for long, because soon he spotted a rat walking by. He thought, how about a rat burger smothered in cheese sauce? Now that's what I call a fancy meal. Blah. He jumped for the rat, but it was too wiggly. It wiggled and jiggled right out of Badger's hands, and then it scurried away as fast as it could. He found a perfect place to hide. Where do you think he found to hide? I'm going to show you. Whose den is this? He's hopping right in there with the mole in Badger's den. Badger was disappointed again, but it wasn't long because he soon spotted a rabbit walking by. He thought, how about a rabbit banana split covered with hot fudge? Now that's what I call a fancy meal. He jumped for the rabbit, but it was too quick. It hippity-hopped right out of Badger's hands, and then it bounced away as fast as it could. Where do you think he's going to bounce? You're right. He found the perfect place to hide right in Badger's hole. Poor Badger. He had lost 3 meals in a row, and now he was really, really hungry. He screamed, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Do you think he could really eat a horse? No. Oh, really? Said a loud voice. Badger couldn't believe his bad luck. There, glaring down at him, was a big, mean-looking horse. You eat me, sneered the horse. I don't think so. I want you to look what they're doing down in Badger's den. What are they eating? They're eating the food that he didn't want to eat, the worms and the old fruit salads. Now stop badgering me. And with that, the horse kicked Badger way up into the air. Look what's going on in his den. They're high-fiving. They're happy. Badger flew and flew and flew some more. Where do you think he's going to land? Until thump! He landed right back where he started, in his own den. Thank goodness I made it home. Who needs a fancy meal anyway? I've got plenty of good food right here. Does he have plenty of food right there? No. Who ate the food? The mole, the rabbit, and the rat. But Badger was wrong. His food was all gone. Instead, all he found was a short note. See the note? The note said, "Dear whoever lives here, sorry for dropping by uninvited. A nasty badger was chasing us, and we had nowhere else to hide. The apples, worms, and roots were delicious. Thank you so much for the fancy meal." Badger had a fancy meal after all, didn't he? And then, let's look. Look what happened. What are they doing? It looks like they got full. Look at their tummies, how big their tummies are. Do you ever eat a lot and your tummy gets so full, then you get sleepy and want a nap? Well, that was my story for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you enjoyed it, okay? I love you, and I will see you next week. All right, get some rest, do some reading and counting. Love you. Bye.